So, guys, we're coming up with an update for you. We're coming here with an update for you guys about Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma is going to be missing the Test series between South Africa and India. So, Aditya earlier on he put a story up on Cricket Fanatics Magazine. India's vice captain and opening batter Rohit Sharma has been ruled out of the three Test series against South Africa, owing to an injury he picked up during a training session in Mumbai. Sharma's absence is a blow to the Indian team, given his recent performances in England, where he scored 368 runs, including a match winning 127 of 256 balls that gave India the lead over England. Uncapped Indian batter Priyank how do I pronounce it? Panchal is likely to be included into the Indian squad, seeing that he played 100 first class games at an average of 45.52, including 24 centuries and 25 half centuries. An excellent conversion rate over there from the guy. So we're going to discuss who could possibly replace Rohit in the side, of course, and I'm going to get Aditya's thoughts on this because he'll be more clued up about India than I am. So I would like to listen to him and hear what he has to say. And then we can talk a little bit about South Africa. I mean, it seems that Quinton de Kock also might miss a couple of games as well, or might miss some time with the Proteas as well, um, given his wife and everything that's happening over there with the baby, the new kid, and etc. So there's a lot to talk about in general. So we're going to be talking about all of that on the show today. But before we get going, before we get started, please subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos, as well as subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. The link is in the description. Click on it and you go directly to the landing page. You'll get everything 100% free straight to your inbox. What you also need to know is that we will be activating the super chat. So if you want us to read out your questions and you want to make any statements that you want us to read out, please get involved with the super chat. You can go to the dollar sign at the bottom of the screen in the live chat. You'll see a little dollar sign. Just click that and you can contribute as much as you want for us to be able to do so. So let's get straight into today's content. Myself, Aditya, Werner, waiting for you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid Maiden. This is Aditya. This is Werner. They are with me today, and we're going to be discussing a various amount of topics. First and foremost, we have to first announce that obviously this has news broke earlier. Aditya put up the story on our website. So it's all about Rohit Sharma and missing the Test series. Massive blow for India. I think he's a dangerous player in all conditions. It doesn't matter which conditions it is. So I think that's where we start right now, because that means that we could possibly either see a debutant or someone that hasn't played for a while. Maybe if in India we might get to see someone that won't be as, I would say, in form as maybe Rohit was, or as experienced as Rohit is in international cricket. Who are the options, though, Aditya? Before I start rambling here about nonsense that I don't know. So, who are the options that could possibly come in for Rohit right now?
Look, I think before Rohit Sharma's injuries was before Rohit Sharma's injury was announced, um, it was almost assumed that Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul will be the openers. So KL Rahul is also coming back from injury, and I think he's going to retain his spot. But I think Mayank Agarwal slots straight back in, and that to me is an excellent option because he's just come off an excellent 150 and 62 in tough conditions in Mumbai. So I think Mayank Agarwal and K. Rahul will open, uh, but Priyank Panchal is probably going to be the reserve opener.
Panchal. Okay. So what can you tell us about him a little bit more? I would like to know a little bit more about him. I know I just read out your statement in your article a little earlier, but from a South African point of view, help us out a little bit to get some insight on him.
Priyank Panchal is he's a 31-year-old player. He's almost a veteran of the domestic circuit. You know, as you saw in that piece, I mentioned that he's played 100 first-class games, and he still hasn't been able to make his debut. So that's quite crazy. But he's been a well-known name in the Indian circuit for quite a while. He scored 2400s and 2550s. He's known to have that knack to score big runs. You know, when Priyank Panchal gets set, you know that he's going to score big. Um, he's a good player, and he was with the SAA team right now. I mean, with the India A team, playing in South Africa, which is why I think he got the note. Because if Priyank Panchal was not playing in South Africa, then I think one of Shubman Gill or Prithvi Shaw might have made the cut then, because both of them have more experience at the international level. But I think Priyank Panchal is a solid choice, and let's see. Hopefully, he gets a game or so. He's able to make his debut here. But in saying that, I think Rohit Sharma missing out is quite a big blow, because this year he's not only played match-winning knocks, he's played series-defining knocks. Earlier this year against England, when England was over touring India, he made 161 that turned the series in India's favor. Then he made 127 at the Oval in England, which also turned the series in India's favor. So he's played series-defining knocks here, and he's really come into his own in Test cricket. So he would have liked to be on this tour, but it's unfortunate that he can't be.
Mhm. Because I mean, Mayak Agarwal and I mean Shabnim Gill. I mean, I'm a big fan of Shabnim Gill. Agarwal completely destroyed us the last time he came to South Africa. So, or the last time, not I don't think it was in South Africa. It was actually in India where he destroyed us. Sorry.
Home
So,
series, yeah.
yeah, in the home series, he was excellent there. So, one of those you guys have so many players that you can actually choose from and pick from when it comes to that. If you had to guess, or if you had to pick the two openers that face South Africa, who do you think that would be right now?
KL and Mac.
Okay. Okay, cool. I like that. I like KL a lot. You guys know that, of course. I'm a big fan of his. So yeah, it will be interesting to see him do that. Werner, as a South African fan, of course, hearing this news about Rohit, you don't want to hear anybody. You don't never want to hear people are injured or not in teams, etc. But you want everybody to be doing well. Maybe deep inside you wish that maybe some players don't tour, whatever the case may be. But how were you feeling about this news when this news came out?
I'm disappointed. Uh, I'd love to see Rohit playing. I always love to see the base facing the base. So for me, it's not a good thing. Obviously, the players might see it as a good thing, seeing that he has been in good form. But both Rahul and Agarwal have been in good form as well. So it probably sets him back a bit, because he would have been the vice captain in the test scene. But not that much, because they have quality openers in any case. So I don't think it will have a major impact, maybe just from a leadership perspective.
Mm. Because I mean, Agarwal, when I look at Agarwal in general, he's not necessarily had the best performances outside of India. For example, he averages 83 in India compared to Australia, where it's 30 in 5 matches. Okay, he hasn't really necessarily toured as much as maybe he would have liked. But his average necessarily hasn't been that great outside. He's not converting. He's just been getting 50s. He hasn't been converting those 50s. But I do feel that this South African tour, these wickets, they haven't necessarily been the same type of wickets that we have seen in recent times. Like I'm comparing this from the domestic point of view of what I've seen in the domestic scene. It's like, for example, Newlands. I know that's only the final test, but Newlands' wicket hasn't looked as great as it was before, where you'd have that nip, that greenness in it, and that movement. It's looked like a good scoring wicket generally. So I think a guy like Agarwal will really be able to perform in a place like Newlands, where the wicket isn't the same like it used to be. So it's not necessarily a wicket that we've seen now. When it comes to the Lions and the Wanderers, etc., we've seen our wickets have been flying over there. Bowlers dominating there. So it will be a very tough task, I think, that first test for a guy for whoever's going to be trusted with that opening position, because I think that opening position in Test cricket is so important. That's why we stress and talk about it so much from a South African point of view, because we've been waiting for a partnership that is solidified, that performs as a pair, not just one that performs and the other doesn't, because a lot of the times that's just been happening. When it comes to Aiden Markram and Dean Elgar as a partnership, they haven't necessarily been the partnership that we've hoped for against all the teams that they played against. We would have preferred to obviously get 200 partnerships, 150-run partnerships between the two of them, and that to happen at an often more often than it has been happening. There is talk, and Rashid has mentioned it actually in the comment section. There is talk about Quinton de Kock maybe missing some of the tour as well. So that's going to either see a change up top or the change at the bottom. So either you get a like for like replacement for Quinton de Kock, and you either put Ryan Rickleton directly in or Kyle Verreynne directly in that position, because that would look like the clear understanding, or you're going to be bringing in one of those youngsters and moving everybody up. That's also an option which we spoke about last night. But that's I think that is highly unlikely. I think what would happen most likely is a straight swap for Quinton Park, where he's the backup keeper. And from what we've heard, from what Boucher has been saying, if we're going to trust what Boucher's been saying in press conferences at all Aditya, Kyle Verreynne is the backup keeper. And that's what he's been saying. And that's what his role is there. So we might get to see the guys that are fans of Kyle. We might get to see him play play in this particular test series, if that is the case. Who wants to go first on that? Who would you replace personally, both of you? We can go with Aditya and then Werner.
I think Kyle Verreynne deserves to be there, and if we're going by any sense of continuity, then given that he played in the West Indies as well, along with Keegan Peterson, it only makes sense that Kyle Verreynne is given that opportunity to replace Quinton de Kock. But in saying that, it would also be, I understand that these things are hard to predict, obviously, but I think for the sake of clarity, it would be useful for the team to know whether Quinton de Kock is going to be missing one test or two tests.
Yeah.
I think that matters, because if you're giving Kyle Verreynne two tests, then you can expect some sort of performance from him in those 4 innings. But if you're giving him one test, then the expectation of performance should be realistic. And we shouldn't be putting an excessive amount of pressure on him.
Yeah, Werner, when you do add to this, I want you to also answer this question, because us as a fan base, like, we're so quick to can people or say that people should be canned or dropped. I don't feel that we give people or players enough chances to say, okay, let's give him a chance, and let's just give him an opportunity to prove himself first before we judge them. I see us going for people's heads quite soon. Would you want to see that maybe change amongst ourselves as fans? I know we can't change everybody's minds, but we have a voice, I guess, to maybe with a slight influence on some people, that they have options to choose from and think of things differently.
I don't think I'm going to change anyone's mind, but I agree that they should be given a lot more leeway. I always refer back to the way Cullis started, and the fact that he was averaging like 14 in his first 7 tests. Imagine if we decided, okay, no, 7 tests, this guy is not good enough. Let's send him back. Let's try somebody else. What we would have missed out on for almost 15 years, 20 years. So no, I would definitely give them enough opportunity. I know last night you talked about Tennis Brain maybe also not getting enough opportunities, but I think he did. I think he's the one example. He got, I think, about 11 matches, and I think that's a fair run. And if you're still averaging 19 like he was, then I'd say give somebody else a chance. So my basis would usually be about 10 tests. Give them at least a full home series, maybe two full home series and a away series, and see how they go. And if they're really not up to, and you can see it, because even if a player doesn't score 100, right? If he makes, almost like how Bavuma has been, if he makes a fighting 70 in a very difficult course, even if he doesn't score in the next test, you know what you have in this guy. You know, okay, there's real potential there. Let's give him another series. But if he goes through a series and he looks abysmal, he's like facing Ashwin and he doesn't know which way the ball is spinning. He's playing totally the wrong line. He's not reading the length. Then it's a different case. But if you can see that person has potential, this guy, Kyle Rain, is coming in, he's using his feet against Ashwin, he's nudging it into the gaps, he keeps rotating the strike, he looks comfortable at the crease. That's the sort of guy you have to give more time to.
Sorry, just before before you continue, Khalid, Verna, I think you're a very generous man. You're giving players 10 test matches. In India, in India's Virendra Sehwag once said that I think a player should be given 4 test matches before he's dropped, and that was considered to be generous.
But
We,
but you
I
should
think,
know that you have a lot more players, good players to choose from that are like really on the edge of making the test. At this stage, we don't have guys that's totally knocking the door down. So I would be a bit more lenient than I can, because if you look at India, right? So Agarwal is only going to play because Rohit is injured. He's just coming off of 150. We don't have that type of solid platform to work with.
Yeah. I mean, I'll show you the stats. I did a little filter. I'm going to put it here on the screen right now. So I did a little filter of from September 2017. So I started it from South Africa's home summer in Bangladesh in 2017. It's 4 years ago. And I put up the stats to show you guys who our top batters were and top run scorers have been in that period. Now, Dean Alga, far ahead of everybody else, has played the most amount of games with Quinton de Kock, 2,000 runs, averaging 40. You would hope that your openers are averaging above 40, close to 50. But 40 is good. Aiden Markram is on the brink of 40. He's 39. 2 openers. Good to see that that's happening. It's 5 centuries, exactly the same amount of centuries and half centuries as a guy like Dean Alga in less games. So 4 less matches. Then you've got a guy like Quentin de Kock, who has been excellent. I mean, but averaging 36.13 in 30 matches, only averaging below 40. Then you had Faf du Plessis in 26 matches, averaging below 40 as well, 35.59, 4 centuries and 50. And then 750s. And then you've got a guy like Hashim Amla, who's on this list too. Only 17 matches in this period, 1,000 runs, averaging only 33.36. So that's a guy like Hashim Amla of his caliber. And then right behind him is Temba Bavuma in 20 matches, averaging 33 in that period. So kind of doing what Amla was doing in Amla towards the end of basically Amla's career ultimately. So which isn't that good. That needs to improve. So this is just what it's been like over the last couple of years. Looking at that, and then you're going to be replacing these guys that are averaging 30 at international level, or 35 or 36 if you're going to bring anybody in that period, with guys that are only averaging 50 or just under 50 in domestic cricket over the last 5 years. I'm talking. I'm not talking about the last 3 seasons, or if you're going to take the last 3 seasons, a guy like Calverena is operating at 50-50 at domestic level. But when you look at our domestic level compared to international level, it is a massive step up. When you're looking at a guy like KP, he hasn't had the easiest of starts in his international career, and he's been one of the South Africa's best batters in the domestic scene. Then you got a guy like Rassi, who I don't know what it is about Rassi. Rassi is a special player. Rassi is mentally very, very strong, and his ability to be able to have adapted so quickly is remarkable. He took to international cricket like a duck to water. It's been an excellent performance from him. We're lucky that we have a player like him in the side that could instantly hit the ground running like he did, because it doesn't often happen. That step up is very difficult. But and I think you only can get that with a guy that has experience as him domestically, because he understands his game so well. He understands what his strengths are, so he can adapt a lot easier than a guy like Calverena or Rickleton that haven't really necessarily had the opportunity to play international cricket yet, but they've been dominating domestic cricket. And a weaker domestic system as well, because we haven't really necessarily had a lot of international bowlers bowling, or guys that are international standard bowling to these guys consistently in every single team. When the likes of Amla and them were coming through the system, you had excellent top class bowlers that were bowling in the system, including guys that actually went on to go sign Colpacks. Having those guys back this season this season will be a nice reflection of what we have and the talent pool that we have, because they're facing a lot of top quality bowlers in South Africa at the moment. That Lions bowling attack, has been excellent.
Whoever scores well against the Lions is basically what we're saying.
Yeah,
is a good measure.
Exactly. It's a very good measure. And also the Titans. If people can, and I would say to an extent, if people can score runs against a full strength Paul Rocks team, I'm talking about with Kyle Aberdeen and having those guys in, and Sean van Berg, of course, bowling there as well.
Others for you.
Full unit as well. If they can put a team on the field that with all of those players in, we need to look at innings in isolation like that. And that's what selectors have to do as well, because it's easy to have your results or your scores or your averages inflated when you're playing against a minnow team. For example, the Western Province team in the last game that they played, they had a lot of inexperienced guys, club cricketers, young Western Province players. Their top team hasn't been available. Their top bowlers haven't been available. So when a team batters them, it increases their average and makes them look good. And you see it on paper, and you're like, wow, they scored a century, and oh my god, they did so well. But you have to also look at who they're playing against. It's not just about stats, and that's why you have to look at things in isolation. You have to look at it in depth and look at the situations that players have put themselves in and they're playing in. So we're gonna have to look at what happens, but because of the Lions' performance now, basically that whole bowling attack is now in the South African side. So you're not going to get to see that.
Just Pamlama remains.
Only it's Pamela
and Siboto.
And Siboto. So, but let's see. Maybe they've got some guys there that are coming through the system that we haven't really seen yet, that are going to put up their hands and really perform. I'm hoping that they are. I'm not so sure about their depth. I haven't looked as far, because most of the time we're seeing their best team. So yeah, for me, for example, I would like to see opportunities being given and kept, and guys getting opportunities to really show what they have to do and not get dropped after one or two poor performances or four poor performances. Calverena's had a taste of international cricket, and I would like to see them continue with him, because it only makes sense to do so. Because otherwise, then why was he in the squad in the first place if he's not the next in line? That's what I don't get. But anyway, we've got a super chat here from Ravi. Ravi wants to know, Aditya, your thoughts on Panchal. He already gave his thoughts on Panchal at the beginning of the show. So, Ravi, you need to rewind back. But because you paid for super chat, Aditya, you want to just give a quick summary once again?
Yeah. Priyank Panchal is a fantastic batter, 31 years old, and he represents Gujarat in the Ranji Trophy. Uncapped player. He's also part of the India A Tour, and He's been on the circuit for a long time. He's played 100 first-class games, and he's become a veteran of sorts because he's
Yes.
averaged 45 across 100 games and scored 24 hundreds and 25 50s. So he's got an outstanding conversion rate. Uh, the brilliant prospect, and he honestly should have been in the Indian setup a long time ago. But I guess because of the competition, it's very hard to it's very hard to accommodate everyone who deserves to be in the team. So I
Mhm.
mean, previously in the comment section, there was someone who said, "Why is Karun Nair not playing in the game?" He's probably the only cricketer around who scored a triple hundred, an unbeaten triple hundred years ago, and hasn't got an opportunity ever since. So, can you imagine that you come in as a replacement, score a triple hundred, and you're still not able to get an opportunity in the Indian team? That's insane.
Sean Reader has updated us on domestic cricket being postponed until January with the 50 over cup, which will be played in the bubble in Durban and Potchefstroom. So that's what's the update over there. So we're going to have to wait until then to see. It's in the middle. Obviously, the test series is happening also in January. These are going to be ODIs as well. So exciting times. Um, let's see. Lorenzo saying Nabi is a talent that needs to get given opportunities in limited overs cricket. I played varsity cricket with him, and he's world class. Um, very good player, very consistent, um, and I think we need to give him first an opportunity at SAA. I think we really need to organize more SAA tours so we can see more of these guys. I don't think we have enough SAA tours and opportunities for these guys to play at an international level against the next best in line internationals because it's a good measuring stick to be able to compare these guys against other guys that are on the next in line because other countries, if it's true what people say, other countries have very strong backups and second teams, etc. I mean, India's depth is phenomenal. People say England's depth is phenomenal, but the first team is, I don't know. So just kidding. But
Their depth is good in limited overs cricket.
yeah, whoa, it's another level then. And then we've got Australia. They always seem to find people. They always seem to churn out the next star, the next person that is unique and it's different. I mean, Maris Nabaskachny at the moment, he's like a meme currently because of his chance that he gives every single time he's at the crease or he's in the field or whatever the case may be. Very fun to watch. You know, I love to see someone enjoy the sport and enjoy their job so much. It's great. It's so great to see that. Um, he looks so happy to be an Australian cricketer, like or to just be a professional cricketer. It's phenomenal to see. So I would like to actually like to see a lot more, even if we have a lot more um, series like inter squad series is where we have like maybe a team take on the under 19 team and we have like these things in South Africa, you know, while we can still operate within our means of our countries and not travel, maybe we could have these type of tournaments maybe in a bubble somewhere where we get to see like an under 19 team or under 23 team take on an under 19 team and take on, you know, a SAA team or emerging team or whatever the case may be. And it would be nice to see a competition like that amongst each other to see how they perform under pressure, as well amongst each other to really get for us as fans also to see what the talent is in this country. But we need more SA tours. That's a must. I think emerging and SA tours are definitely a must. Um, did you say, Vern? I don't remember you saying you said Calvarena should be the one to replace Quinton if he's not there, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd love to see Ryan Rickleton, but I think Kyle Rayner definitely deserves his opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very interesting tour. It's going to be a very interesting tour. I'm very excited for it. To see Test cricket again. South Africa play Test cricket again in South Africa. I'm so looking forward to the Newlands Test. If you guys are going to be there and you are in from Cape Town, etc., come find me. We'll do some fan cams. I would like to get your insights on the game, etc. If I'm allowed to walk around and interact with you guys, I'll try my best to see if that is possible.
Has,
Maybe,
has it been confirmed that there will be spectators allowed?
well, I don't know. They have to obviously rediscuss it again then, because initially it
Because
was
I
supposed
was
to be 2000.
yeah, I was wondering with India agreeing to come if they didn't maybe talk about the being played behind closed doors. So it'll be
Yeah,
interesting to see.
it's going to be interesting to see.
No, I think they will play in a bubble, the strictest uh, sort of environment, because the night before the confirmation, CSA and BCCI had a massive meeting that went on forever, and it was only at that point that they confirmed that they were going to go ahead with the tour while postponing the T20 leg of it. Um, so yeah, I think they're going to play with the strictest requirements in mind.
Okay, if that is the case, and there's no fans that are coming into the stadiums, etc., we don't know how this is going to, because things can change so quickly. So let's see what happens. But if it doesn't happen, we will have fan call-ins on our review shows where you guys get to do your fan cams. So you guys can come have your say, call in on the show, and tell me what you think about each day. Because we'll be obviously doing shows every single day, every bit of the test. So Werner, you need to go find your people here in the chat. I don't know who these people are. They need to be removed. So if you guys see these people, please, please block them and report them, because I don't know what is going on and what they found out. So blocked over here in the chat. Um,
I didn't really understand the name, because how do you strip without clothing? If you don't have clothing, what do you still have left to strip?
your dignity. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Um, don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification button for all future videos as well. Get involved with the Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. We are bringing out the next issue on Wednesday, so please stay tuned to that. It's the World Cup edition, the Under 19 World Cup edition, of course. So keep an eye out for that. Some excellent insight in that particular issue on youth cricket and the youngsters in our country. So yeah, stay tuned to that, and also stay tuned tomorrow. I'll be doing an episode tomorrow with some of the East Under 19 guys from the Western Province scene. So Ethan Cunningham and Caden Solomons from the Under 19s that are going to be part of the East Under 19 team. So they'll be coming on the show tomorrow.
When is that the first game starting? Do you know the
So
dates?
So they're going on a tour to the West Indies first. So
Yeah.
they're leaving on Friday.
Do you know when they start playing?
I don't know the exact date when they start
Because
playing.
I was wondering, because I know it's great that they will have preparation in West Indies before the World Cup that's also going to be played there, right? So that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think all that information will probably be in our latest issue as well. We'll prepare you for that. But I know that they're leaving on Friday for that particular tour to the West Indies. So we're going to be getting some of them on tomorrow and having a conversation. You guys can interact with Super Chats and ask them questions, or ask them questions without Super Chat. It would be really appreciated if you do get to give a Super Chat to get your questions asked. So yeah, that's what our show is going to be about tomorrow. And then we'll obviously launch the new magazine with an exclusive interview from Shukri Conrad, and he gives an excellent interview in detail about his preparations, how he went about scouting for this team, the captaincy that he picked, the philosophy he has, for everything, the approach, what he wants to get out of this competition as well. That's what we all want to see. So I think you guys need to tune in. The interview will probably be after 1, so just keep an eye out. After 1 it will come out, then the exclusive interview, and then you can subscribe to the latest issue. But thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you again tomorrow with another daily show. Thank you, Werner. Thank you, Aditya. See you guys very soon. Take care.